Alright, so I'm just here tonight chilling with my daughter Dessa and my dog Harley, and Jaden's up in bed asleep. And if you've been watching my videos over the last couple of weeks, I've been telling some of my old favorite stories through the years. I got tons of footage that I either didn't release or that I just have been revisiting. I've been telling a bunch of my old stories and showing the videos to that. And today I want to tell a story about the first deer I killed, the first buck I killed with a bow. So the story starts on opening day of bow season in 2016. I went out to one of my favorite stands overlooking a food plot, and I had an awesome hunt. I watched this little 6-pointer chase a bunch of deer around. I watched tons of deer feed all night. It was a really fun hunt, and then I actually ended up doing kind of like my final interview. Alright, all the deer left the field. I'm gonna sit out these last 10-15 minutes, but it's a fun hunt. I got to watch a lot of deer just run around and chase each other. And that little 6-pointer chased all those fawns right under the tree. That was pretty cool. I could have jumped on top of him. All around fun hunt. I didn't get a shot off at a big buck or even lay eyes on a shooter, but that hunt was a success in my book. I had a lot of fun. Saw a lot of deer. Some people don't get to see that many deer in a season, so I consider myself blessed. I just had this feeling, and sure enough, this buck walks out. I look out of the corner of my eye, and this beautiful buck steps out and walks into one of my shooting lanes. Beautiful 10-pointer. It would have been by far the biggest deer I ever killed, and also my first buck with a bow. So, when I film all my hunts, I have this camera arm that I use that sticks to the tree and comes out, and I can move it around, and it's got this fluid head on it, very similar to a lot of tripods and whatnot. So what I did is I pointed the camera at the deer, and I was holding on to the handle, and I let go, and I went to grab my bow, clip my release on, and draw my bow to shoot this deer. Well, I come to full draw, and I look over at my camera, and it's going like this. It's just slowly pointing to the sky and falling back. So I forgot to lock my camera in. So I let my bow down real quick, got my camera back on the buck, made sure to lock it in, and came to full draw again. And what kind of happened was this deer was standing at about 35 yards, and while that whole process was going on, even though it was a couple seconds, he took a couple steps, and that put him closer to 40 or 42 yards, I think it was. So that, coupled along with just crazy buck fever and my inexperience, I rushed the shot, and I ended up shooting low on this deer. I completely missed him, so it was a clean miss. And I shot right under him. So he was a beautiful deer. Really sad I missed him. I actually ended up getting a trail camera picture of him. Gorgeous buck, great 10-pointer. So after that, that was also the year that I started dating who is now my wife. So I was busy doing that, and I was just really tore up about this miss, and I hadn't made time to go back to the cabin for a long time. I did a little bit of public land hunting back at UW Stout, where I was going to college at the time, for deer. I did a lot of duck hunting, but I just never made it back to the cabin until October 28th. So that's where this story is going to pick up. I went out for a morning hunt on October 28th. It just felt like a good morning, where everything seemed right, and this is a story of my first buck with a bow. So I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, finally back at the cabin. I think it's like October 28th. There's been a lot of signs of deer chasing. Everyone's been telling me the rut's starting to kick off here, the rut activity anyway, so
been a long time since I've been in the tree. This morning, it's a foggy morning. I got in here about an hour before dark, and I've been hearing deer just moving through the swamp all morning, so I want to get some meat for the freezer this weekend, so I'm going to be very tempted to shoot a doe if I get a good look. But I am also, with all the activity and with all the signs and what I've been hearing from everyone, I might hold out for a buck. We'll see what happens. I centered it right on his lungs, and he kind of whipped towards me. I don't know how the film was. It was so dark. I think he was in frame. I hope I got the shot on camera. When it hit him, he kind of whirled down weird, and he stumbled. He ran 20 yards and fell. So, I have no idea. I mean, oh man, I hope I got him. Hey Sammy, guess what I just did while you were sleeping? Huh? Shot a big buck. No, yes, I did. Won't you think I'd be back this early? It ain't even light out yet, hardly.
Show me. Alright.
You're lucky this camera's all glary, all foggy because it's hot in here.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing getting off of me.
Come on.
How big? Junkyard?
No, not junkyard, big.
Jeepers.
We just got back and I reviewed the footage, and that deer is way smaller than what I thought. When I put the binoculars up on him, I would have guessed he was 135, 140. He's not anywhere near that. I would have never shot that deer if I would have known how small he is, but I did. So I'm gonna try to stay positive with that and how I use my tag. And the shot doesn't look the greatest either. He kind of turned into it. I didn't see him face towards the camera. It looks like it's probably shoulder. So we're gonna go just look for blood. If there's not blood, even if there is blood, we're probably gonna let him lay for a while, but we just want to see what we can see for the first 30-40 yards, and then we're gonna have to call the neighbors up and get a hold of them, see if we can get permission to go track that deer onto their land. So let's go. Alright, this isn't looking any better. Found my arrow snapped off inside of him. I only have 7 inches of penetration. I haven't found any blood on the ground, but I also haven't been right on. I haven't found right where he's been yet, so we're gonna keep looking on the ground and see if we can't find any blood. Okay. Alright, we got on blood. Sam found the first blood where he crossed a 4-wheeler trail. It's actually quite a bit of blood. It looks good, like I must have snuck into his lungs. So we got to make the call to the neighbors and see if they will let us come track this deer onto their land. I've no idea how far I went. He's already lost a pretty decent amount of blood, so hopefully he's not too much further into there and we don't have to disrupt their hunting too much. But yeah, that's not.
Gotta comply.
Yeah, we gotta follow the rules and ask them. They told us if the deer goes onto their land, they want to come with us and track it, so yeah. Let's get out of here. Alright, so we ran into town and got the neighbor's number because the deer ran onto their land, and they request that we call them whenever something like that happens. So we got their number, and he said he would, if we marked where the blood trail started, he would go blood trail it for us and see if he could find it, because he didn't want us on his land. And my dad and I were just over there looking at the blood again, and he met us at the property line and said they found it. So we're gonna head over there, meet him at the property line. He said he would drag it back there for us. And so the buck's on the ground. At least I know I didn't wound him. All right, here's the buck. Neighbors drug him back for us. They blood trailed him the whole way and brought him back, so we want to thank our neighbors for that. They didn't have to do that, but that was nice of them. He's got a little sticker point here, so he's a 9-pointer. First buck with the bow. Like I said, I thought he was bigger, but I'm trying to stay positive. He's a good deer. Like I said, 52-yard shot, so it's a good shot, and I'm happy to have a buck on the ground, and now we can do some filming and some hunting in Illinois. So Wisconsin buck tag is filled.
Alrighty, so that was the story of my first buck. I got a couple big takeaways. First of all, this was a couple years ago, and just looking back, I'm sorry that I had such a kind of a bad attitude about that deer. I was kind of a little weenie about it. I really did think that deer was bigger when he was coming in when I shot it, but at the end of the day, I chose to send an arrow at that deer. I did take an extra look, and that was my fault, but no matter what, I should have stayed way more positive, been way more happy. I mean, that was my first deer, or first buck with the bow, so I should have had a lot better attitude. And then also just, this is at a time where I was really diving deep into archery, and I was practicing a lot, and I was shooting out to 50-60 yards and having really nice tight groups. But as I've gotten older and had a couple like things go wrong, I just I won't be taking any shots at that distance again. Animal that can react is a whole lot different than a target, so that'll be another thing that that I learned from this experience. It was a great hunt, tons of learning experiences. Moving forward, I'll be targeting more mature deer, but this is a memory that I'll never forget. This deer is right there on my wall, so I couldn't be happy with this deer now. I don't regret any of my decisions that I made on that deer. So yeah, I'm glad to share the story with you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you are liking some of these old videos that I'm bringing back, because it's just, there's so much fun for me to kind of relive and rewatch. But I'm also excited for this year. We're not too far away from dove season and goose season opening up, and shortly after that is archery and duck season. So we'll be having a lot more, content coming from this year actually happening right now. So thank you again so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button to see what I'm up to this year and to see some more of these updates. And we'll see you soon.